I think we're into day 18 of this disaster. It's hard to believe we were starting out with a Category 4 hurricane facing us, or we were facing it, and then we were spared the wind, but we got the rain.
Leaders say the flooding will not get any worse in Horry County, but things are far from back to normal, and we are still working for you. Tonight, Taggart Houck will show you how one family is surviving in their home with 4 feet of floodwater outside their garage. Tanya Brown will introduce you to a family in Nichols who has already spent 2 weeks in a shelter. Sydney Glenn is watching the traffic.
But first, we have some new information just into our newsroom for you. The Horry County Sheriff says the 2 deputies who drove through floodwaters were waved around the barricade by members of the National Guard. A spokesperson just told us because the van was a law enforcement vehicle, they were waved around that road closed sign. Now, those 2 deputies, might remember, were rescued from the floodwaters, but 2 mental health patients who were in the van, they drowned. The investigation is being handled internally and by the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division.
Well, tonight, drivers are still dealing with heavy traffic and road closures throughout the county. ABC 15 Sydney Glenn is live at the Horry County's Emergency Management Office to give us an update on the roads. Sydney?
Randy Webster says we are starting that recovery process. Roads starting to open up in some places slowly, though. Remember that, slowly. Barriers seem to be everywhere, causing people to have to turn around and try again. Getting to your normal place isn't as easy as it used to be. Many let out a sigh of relief today, though, as SCDOT workers carried away the road closed sign on SC22. Honestly, a game changer for many people as the water is starting to dry up. But remember, it's not gone yet.
The water has crested, and so now we just have to take as much time for it to go down as it's taken it to come up.
That means don't expect all the roads to open up right away. Webster said it's going to take some time to assess all the damage under the roads. SCDOT will be monitoring all of the state roads and assessing the damage there, and then counties will do the same with the other roads. And just remember, this is such a fluid situation. Roads are opening and closing so quickly. So before you head out, just go to DOT's website and see what the road closures are looking like and the best and quickest way for you to get around. Live in Horry County, Sydney Glenn, ABC 15 News.
All right, we know many of you are wondering when those barriers will be coming down on Highway 501. Well, we asked. No set date yet as of right now, but of course we'll keep you posted. Let's go now to Chief Meteorologist Ed Piotrowski, who is watching the water levels for us and tracking some storms.
All right, let's begin with the Waccamaw water levels in Horry County. And as you well know by now, in Longs on Highway 22 at Old Reese Ferry Road and in downtown Conway, the Waccamaw River is actually falling now, and it's highly likely that the Intracoastal Waterway at Socastee and Bucksport are now at crest. We've noticed that these 2 areas have not seen the water rise for the past 6 to 9 hours, so we're likely at crest now. It is possible we could see it increase an inch or 2, but that's basically it. And then as we head through the weekend, everything will slowly fall. But remember, we got to this point after 12 or 13 days, so it's going to take at least that long for this water to gradually recede in our area. So we've got a long way to go, but at least it is not rising anymore in Horry County. Meanwhile, in Georgetown County, at high tide today at the Reserve and at Hagley Landing, the water was just a little bit higher than it was yesterday at high tide. The official forecast from the hydrologists at the National Weather Service are still indicating a 1 to 3 foot increase in the water levels as we head through high tide on Friday and Saturday. Now, based on everything I've seen and most of the crests happening a little bit lower than were forecast, my gut tells me, and also my meteorological knowledge tells me, that it will more likely be near 1 foot rather than 3 feet. We'll watch that for you. Don't let your guard down in Georgetown County as that water will be coming your way, especially on Friday and Saturday, and cresting in Georgetown as well. There's a look at the high tides on Friday and on Saturday. Now, let's talk about thunderstorms. We have a severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for the eastern parts of Darlington and northwestern parts of Florence County until 7 o'clock. Severe thunderstorm with very heavy rainfall, frequent lightning, and likely winds gusting over 50 miles per hour. Moving through Timmonsville right now, back towards Sardis. Heavy storms moving into Florence and Darlington County right now. They will actually likely clear the county as we head through the next half hour to 45 minutes. But that severe thunderstorm warning once again goes until 7 o'clock tonight. All right, I'll show you where other thunderstorms are right now and what's in store as we head through the weekend coming up later.
Let's go ahead and take a live look now at traffic on Highway 501. I know it's a little bit blurry there, but you can kind of tell the intersection at University Boulevard there been crowded sporadically throughout the past 2 weeks as roads are closed because of flooding, of course. Highway 22 reopened this afternoon, but parts of 90, 905, and the Swing Bridge in Socastee are still shut down tonight. Now, if you get stuck in traffic or if you need some help getting around, there are SCDOT workers waiting to take your calls. Write down this number, folks, 855. Go SCDOT. It is open 24 hours a day. And take a look at this. Horry County Police found dozens of fish stranded after floodwaters receded in Longs. This is near Horry's restaurant off of Highway 9 there. Yeah, police say if you see this anywhere, call the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources. Officers want to remind you, do not fish in floodwaters and watch out for any other animals that may have been displaced.
Well, more help is available. The U.S. Small Business Administration added more counties to the disaster declaration for businesses and residents affected by Hurricane Florence. Today, an SBA office opened in Horry County at the Conway Chamber of Commerce. Small business owners are able to come to the office and get help as they recover. And streets are still covered with water in Conway. Look at this. This is a look at 12th Avenue. You can't even see the Riverwalk. It's under several feet of water from the Waccamaw River. And parts of Socastee are more than 8 feet underwater. Some homes that have been raised after previous storms are once again targets of severe flooding. ABC 15's Taggart Halk is live in a boat tonight along Recreation Road in Socastee, where people say this type of flooding is far worse than anything they've seen before.
Right, yeah, you can definitely say that again. Like we said, about 8 feet, sometimes even higher in some parts along here. Again, this is Recreation Road. My friend Charles and his family here driving us on this boat. I want to give you just a bit of a look here. I'm going to step aside. You can see this is the roof of a house. You've got the gutter here as well. That's just an idea of how much we're dealing with here. Of course, those people getting ready for something a little bit later on. But then if we go around here, you can see even more of this flooding. This is normally a creek throughout this neighborhood. The street is just there on the other side. That would be Recreation Road. And again, you can just see a lot of these homes here up to the windows for some parts here. As you get a little bit deeper back, which is where we're headed now, you'll start to see you're talking about 8 to 9 feet. In some places, there are pilings that are about 10 feet. That water has come up, really almost submerging those as well. And Kern, if you could, just pan a little bit over here. This is a playground set that, of course, having a tough time here in this water. But Creek Bridge is just down this stretch as well. This whole area, if you could take it in, still submerged underwater. We're talking about 8 to 9 feet again. Of course, this area was hit hard during Hurricane Matthew. A lot of these homes did flood for this. Some people, they'd gotten back from that. And now, once again, we're talking about another rebuilding process. We did actually talk to a couple people just down the street. Their home was not nearly flooded as bad. They've got about 4 feet in their garage at this point. They have been keeping water out. They've been using different pumps, different sandbags, pushing that water out. But here again, as we are rolling along here, and Kern is just giving us an idea of what to expect. You can see down this way is the Intercoastal Waterway. So, of course, a lot of water here coming in from that. But again, we're making our way down. This is along Recreation Road here, and we are going to send this one back to you guys live here in Socastee. Taggart Halk, ABC 15 News.
Taggart, thank you. You know, the Intracoastal Waterway is projected to crest sometime today. And while the water may not be rising anymore on the Waccamaw River in Horry County, the flood is not over.
Right. If your home still has damage, there are safe spots you can still go. They are open for you. You can go to the Conway Parks and Rec Center, Loris United Methodist Church, or Beach Church in Myrtle Beach. A person living in Florence now has the West Nile virus. Experts say it is because of a mosquito bite. State health officials say they can't confirm whether or not this case is directly attributable to the rise in mosquito population from the flooding, though. City workers will continue to use a fogger truck to try to control the mosquito population. Crews will also use larval control, which includes treating standing water with larvicide to stop the pests from habitating. More than 80 people are still living at a shelter in Marion County.
Yeah, a Nichols woman and her family have been there for 2 weeks. And as ABC 15's Tanya Brown found, the woman says they want to leave, but right now they just don't have a place to go.
33-year-old Tanya Clark and her two sons, ages 6 and 10, have called this recreation facility in Marion home for the past 2 weeks.
We're making it. Just wish we had somewhere to go.
Clark tells me floodwaters all but destroyed the home where they were living in Nichols. She says they were also flooded out following Hurricane Matthew in 2016.
It can be depressing, but you know, I know it'll be okay. Probably
She's thankful for the shelter, but says it's not easy living here at times.
Being around a whole bunch of strangers, but you know, it could be worse. I'm thankful because it could be I could be on the street somewhere.
Clark and her sons get 3 meals a day and hot showers thanks to this Baptist church group. They also wash and dry their clothes.
They take care of us pretty good.
Tanya Clark tells me she's moved beyond words at the kindness of others, but is hoping she'll have some place to call home when the shelter's doors close. In Marion, Tanya Brown, ABC 15 News.
Clark says because she didn't own the home, it may be hard for her to get help. Well, the bucket challenge is on. Today, volunteers made their first delivery. We'll show you how many more buckets have been donated for volunteers to fill up.
They lost everything in Hurricane Matthew, and now people in Nichols say it's happening all over again. We'll show you why they say help is harder to find this time around. That one.
Daily Mail.
Well, many are upset Marion County didn't use a newly acquired building to house dogs and cats from the animal shelter during the storm. A Mullins Bank donated a 12,000 square foot building to the county to use as a new animal shelter 2 years ago. Many people who live there asked us to look into why county leaders didn't use it during Hurricane Florence. The Marion County administrator says it'll cost $1 million to turn that building into an animal shelter. Right now, the county only has $250,000 toward that renovation. A class action lawsuit has been filed against CSX Corporation over flooding in Lumberton.
The suit claims CSX caused the problem that led to flooding following Hurricanes Matthew and Florence. It claims CSX caused a gap in the levees and knew of the potential for devastating damage. Officials with CSX say they won't comment on pending litigation. However, they did tell us they remain fully committed to working with the city of Lumberton to implement a permanent solution. And in the small town of Nichols, some people lost everything in the flooding.
Yeah, today was the first day they were actually allowed back, and some people who live there are just seeing how bad the damage is for the very first time. Liz Birch from our sister station, WLOS, is live for us in Nichols tonight.
Yeah, the tough thing for folks here, this is the second hurricane they're dealing with in 2 years, and they're still dealing with the destruction from Hurricane Matthew. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Local residents told us today that this building was boarded up in 2016 when Matthew originally went through. Some folks told us they were just able to move back into their homes in the last couple of months because they've been dealing with rebuilding after that destruction. A deacon with Nichols Baptist Church in downtown Nichols tells us they had about $100,000 worth of damage last time. They think this time it's worse. They had just finished all of the remodels a few months ago, and now they're going to have to start back from scratch.
It's tough. You know, they told you it was the 1,000-year flood. Well, it's the 2-year flood. And we've got a lot of folks that have been flooded twice that lost everything the first time.
We spoke with one who lost everything before and was heading home to see the damage today. You'll hear what's different this time around for her tonight on ABC 15 at 7. I mentioned yesterday, we told you about that curfew starting at 5 p.m. There's still a curfew here in Nichols today. That curfew starts at 8 p.m. tonight. So unless you're in your home, you will not be allowed in the town of Nichols. For now, live in Nichols, Liz Birch, ABC 15.
Liz, thank you. Just a reminder, the downtown Myrtle Beach Strong Hurricane Relief effort is happening now through Sunday. When you eat or shop at restaurants and stores, part of the proceeds will support flood victims. We have a full list of locations for you on WPDE.com. Volunteers donated 100 buckets filled with cleaning supplies today. It's part of the Bucket of Care Challenge started by a Surfside Beach couple. Quintina Livingston is the principal at Whittemore Park Middle School. She's been through Hurricane Matthew and now Hurricane Florence. And she says they're not excited about having to do this, but they're glad they're able to and thankful everyone's giving.
We're not all from this direct community, but we're connected here in a lot of ways.
And a lot of individuals today decided to get in that 501 traffic to come here because they wanted to make sure that they supported the kids and the community.
The Rue family says they have 100 more buckets waiting to be filled, and they are expecting another 400 bucket donations.
River levels are expected to rise in parts of Georgetown County, but SCDNR had some good news about the extent of the flooding there.
Ann Emerson with our sister station, WCIV, continues our team coverage tonight. She's live on Kings River Road in Pawleys Island. Ann?
Hi, yes, that's right. We are on Kings River Road. That's in Pawleys Island in Georgetown County. It's one of the hot spots. And I'll let you look behind me what's going on here. They've just reopened traffic on this road, but it's been closed for extended time because of the river flooding that's been going into this area. And the river flooding on top of the tidal flooding caused this road and the homes back there to actually flood. So this is one of the areas that they've been watching, and some of the other areas that they're watching as well are Sandy Island Landing in Pawleys Island, Wakawachi Landing in Murrells Inlet, and there's also high waters at Hagley Landing. That's in Pawleys Island. So these are all areas that are still quite close to the river, and they're still seeing flooding. Now, SCDNR did release a new map just in the last couple of hours, and that was great news for Georgetown County residents. But it's still, there's a lot of people still in that flood area, but there's a lot of people that have actually moved out of the flood area. So that's the new thing with the new flood maps that have been coming out, is that there's a little bit of relief for some folks that are in Georgetown County. Now, if you have a question and you don't know whether or not that you've actually come out of that flood estimate area, one thing you can do is call the Disaster Call Center. That's 843-545-3273, and look online as well at the SCDNR map. That will give you a good idea to see where your house is. Reporting from Kings River Road in Pawleys Island, I'm Ann Emerson. Back to you in the studio.
I'm still tracking a severe thunderstorm in Florence and Darlington counties. I'll show you where that's headed and tell you what the storm chances are as we head through the weekend after the break.
First warning weather with Chief Meteorologist Ed Piotrowski.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Right to Live Doppler 15,000. A severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect for the eastern parts of Darlington and the northwestern parts of Florence counties. That goes until 7 o'clock tonight. Obviously, you can see a very heavy cluster of thunderstorms now just to the east of Darlington, along I-95, east of Timmonsville, near Sardis, moving into the city of Florence right now. Obviously, very heavy rainfall, frequent lightning. In fact, the lightning is nearly continuous, and also likely some strong gusty winds between 40 and 60 miles per hour. That is capable of damage, especially to trees, simply because the ground is still pretty wet. So don't be surprised if a few trees are knocked over by these storms as they roll through the rest of northern parts of Florence County and eastern parts of Darlington County over the next half hour. If these storms hold together, they will eventually move into Dillon and southern parts of Marlborough County as well. Right now, north of that area, not much going on. A few light showers, a couple of heavy downpours west of Laurinburg, and a thunderstorm right now in Wagram. That is not severe. It's heading on off to the north and east. East of Interstate 95, at least east of this cluster, not much going on. In fact, it is rain-free over Horry and Georgetown counties, and it should be that way for the rest of the night. Bigger picture shows we still got a cold front back out to the west, and this front will be very slow to move through the area as we head through tomorrow and Saturday. Therefore, we'll continue with a chance of showers and storms. Chances are not that high as we head through tomorrow or Saturday, but Saturday looks to be a better chance because the front will be closer. Notice as we head through tomorrow morning, front's pretty far to the north and west, so overall partly to mostly cloudy skies. Only a slight chance of a shower in the morning, and again at lunchtime, a few showers and storms as we head through tomorrow afternoon, but they should be few and far between. As we head through Friday night into Saturday morning, the front is right over us, so mainly dry in the morning, then we'll have some scattered thunderstorms as we head through the afternoon. Highs tomorrow, mid to upper 80s everywhere, lots of humidity as well. It'll feel like a summer day, and really not much change on Saturday, although not quite as warm, low to mid 80s with a better chance for some scattered mainly afternoon storms. It'll still be humid, a little less humid with only a slight chance of a shower near the coast on Sunday. The high temperatures in the low 80s. Leslie is springing back to life and likely will become a tropical storm here tonight or tomorrow. It's going to stay over the North Atlantic. And there, of course, is Kirk. Still a tropical storm, but its days are numbered simply because the wind shear is high. This system forecast to fall apart by Saturday. All right, your 7-day forecast. We get past the good chance of showers and storms into Saturday, then lower chances Sunday. Beautiful for most of next week with a little less humidity, highs in the low to mid 80s, overnight lows in the upper 60s. Inland, same deal here as well. Sunday and beyond looks mainly dry, still quite warm for this time of the year. The high temperatures in the mid 80s, a little less humidity will allow us to fall into the mid 60s, so it will feel pretty nice overall as we head through next week. Stick around, we've got more after the break.
Hurricane Florence and the flooded roadways are causing a whole lot of people to miss work.
Yeah, the state is allowing, though, people in Marion, Dillon, Horry, and Marlboro counties to apply for disaster unemployment assistance. Money is available for those who became unemployed as a direct result of the storm. The State Department of Workforce has centers set up in Marion and Dillon counties to help people apply for the money. Other counties may be added to the declaration as damages are assessed.
Coastal Carolina students, you will go back to class on Monday. So will Horry Georgetown Tech students. Marion and Mullins area children went back to school today. But students at Creek Bridge High School and Britton's Neck Elementary will be out for the rest of this week. Horry County teachers and staff will not have to report tomorrow. Instead, the district is asking staff members to go back on Monday. As for students, Horry County leaders will meet this weekend to determine if classes will resume next week or not. Georgetown County schools are closed until further notice. Here is what we are working on for ABC 15 News at 7. A North Carolina man got separated from his pets during Hurricane Florence. We're going to show you why he left them behind and how they were reunited.